Sheena Smith, John Ehret High School. Votes to reunite fail in 5A.
Yeah.
Are you willing to say how John Ehret voted and why?
Absolutely. We voted not to come back together, and one of the big reasons is everybody knows that kids, especially when they live so close together in our metro area, you can go to one school 1 year and then transfer and go to another school another year. And a lot of times the public schools feel that we have a little bit more restrictions on our attendance zone and who can actually come to our schools and where we're pulling our kids from. And we know that private schools recruit our kids. And you don't want to say recruiting as a bad thing, but they need to keep their doors open. So you know that they're getting kids to go to their school to keep their doors open. And we understand that. But we just felt that at this time, if we're not going to bring the whole organization back together, why is it just happening in 5A? So for me, that's what it was. If it was the whole organization coming back together, then I'm ready. Let's listen. Let's bring that argument to the table. But when we were in that meeting, there was hardly anything said. I mean, why were we doing this? Nobody argued for or against it. It was the proposals on the table, you vote in yes or no, and that's it. There was no discussion. So I feel like maybe if we had a little bit more discussion about it, and maybe if it was the whole organization coming back together, the vote might have been a little bit different.
And you don't have any problem with anybody paying full tuition to go to, say, Archbishop Shaw close to you?
Absolutely not. If your parents or your family chooses to send you to a private school and that's what's best for you and your family, I'm all for it. But if we're going and you're getting, whether it's a voucher or a scholarship of some sort, we need to make sure that those things are being earned and used properly, and not just, we're going to give it to the best kid that can run the fastest or shoot the furthest or, throw the ball the longest. You want to make sure that it's done the right way, and it's done the right way for the kids. And it's not some thing where we're making this happen just because you're a star athlete, because there's a lot of kids that go to those schools that are not athletes. And I know at John Ehret we have close to 2,000 kids every year. Only 400 of those kids are athletes. So what about those 1,600 kids that are sitting in those classrooms next to those athletes? And I'm sure it's the same thing at private schools. You have 2,000 kids at a school, and only maybe 250, 300 are athletes. So somebody's paying full tuition sitting in that desk next to that athlete. So, we just need to make sure that it's fair and it's done properly. That's all.
You think it's a financial issue more than anything else?
I don't know if it's necessarily a financial issue, but I want to, we just need it to be honest and transparent. And I think sometimes it's not honest and transparent, and there's a lot more questions. And like I said, if there was more discussion about it today, and if the whole organization was coming back together, it would have been a different story, and it might have been a different outcome.
And John Ehret would be open to the possibility in the future?
Definitely open to it, definitely want to hear discussion, and definitely want to hear what's the policies in place to make sure that everything is fair.
Will there be more discussion today, or do you think there's other opportunities maybe?
I think that there's going to be more opportunity for the discussion, because 5A, obviously we know that 5A is the biggest schools with, the most revenue coming in, and all eyes are on us. And a lot of times 5A, sure, John Ehret can compete against Romo and Jesuit and Brother Martin, but when you talk about a school like Fisher, they might not be able to compete against a school like Newman, and that's just the reality of it. So the conversation does need to be had if we're going to bring the whole organization back together, and I think that that's the only way you're going to get people to come back from the split. Is we have to do it together as an entire organization and really discuss the policies that's going to be in place.